Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is the Democratic political party, or the Democratic Party in the state of Tennessee. And we're fortunate to have with us the chairperson of the Democratic Party in the state of Tennessee, Mr. Bob Tuke. Mr. Tuke is the chairperson of the Democratic Party, and of course, Mr. Tuke, let me welcome you to the show this morning.
Thank you so much, Dr. Haney. It's a pleasure to be here.
And to tell you how delighted we are to have you here with us. As a matter of fact, in introducing you, I'm reminded that maybe almost a dozen years ago, we had Miss Jane Eskin, who was at that time the chairperson of the Democratic Party, in as one of the persons that we interviewed, and she gave us a lot of information about the Democratic Party. And of course, Mr. Tuke, what we'd like to do this morning is to talk to you about that party and to have you to give us some information. But before we do that, let's talk about Bob Tuke, to have you to give us some information about your background, your education, and some of the things that were important in eventually leading you to the chairperson of the Democratic Party in the state of Tennessee, and then we'll deal with other issues.
Well, you're so kind. I guess for background, I was educated at the University of Virginia, where I took my degree in 1969, and upon graduating, I was commissioned in the United States Marine Corps, and I fought in Vietnam as a Marine and spent 4 years in the Marine Corps. And when I got out of the Marine Corps, I went to law school at Vanderbilt Law School right here in Nashville. And upon obtaining my law degree, I joined a local law firm and just got hard at work at being a lawyer. I had been a Democrat ever since being educated at the University of Virginia. Of course, that was founded by Thomas Jefferson, and he's our founding Democrat.
Jefferson Democrat.
And I became a Jefferson Democrat. Actually, I consider myself a Jeffersonian to this minute.
Very good.
And then just through the process of working, the law firms that I've worked with really emphasized community service. And so I got involved in community service, and inevitably, if one is involved in community service, as you well know, it's going to bump up against politics. And so I got involved in politics, really only at a helping level and just doing the best I could until Bob Clement in 2002 called me and asked me if I would serve as his state campaign finance chairman. And I said I would, and I did. And we worked hard in his Senate campaign, which unfortunately was not successful, but the education for me was remarkable. Having done that and finished that campaign, during the process of it, I went up to Nantucket for a retreat up there with other senatorial candidates, and among the people hosting up there was a man named Senator John Kerry.
Good. Okay.
And when I was up there, and I met him and Teresa, and I was out at their home, and he's a fellow Vietnam veteran, and we struck up a conversation about that. He was in the Navy, and he was in the swift boats, which are the riverine forces, and riverine forces helped me as a Marine in Vietnam. We depended on them for service, so we became friends, and I told him if he ever ran for president to call me, and he did.
Oh, good.
And so I organized Veterans for Kerry in Tennessee, and then became the co-chair of the Kerry Edwards campaign in Tennessee and a trustee of that campaign, and worked hard in 2004. Following that, and again, regrettably, very regrettably, unsuccessfully, I might say, I thought I was going to be able to relax a little, but then they asked me to become treasurer of the state Democratic Party, and I said I would. And then in June of this year, of last year, excuse me, 2005, they asked me to be chairman if I would run for chairman, and I was elected chairman by the executive committee, and so here I am.
And doing a wonderful job, I understand.
Well,
we had an opportunity to talk to some people about some of the things that you're involved in. You know, one of the things that we'd like to do is to talk about the Democratic Party, and to do it in such a way that you can give us some information about the party in the state of Tennessee, what that party stands for, and some of the issues that that party is addressing, and why that party in a real sense is different from competing parties, or whatever those competing parties might be. And of course, we don't want to be partisan with it, but but if we have you as a chairperson of the Democratic Party, and only with about 30 seconds to go before our first commercial break, I think it is possible to talk about that party from your perspective. And of course, we'll do that as soon as we have our first commercial break. But I think essentially what we want to do is to give you an opportunity to bring the Democratic Party in the state of Tennessee in front of our audience this morning. And of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break.